I met a gypsy.
When you coming into this season, rookie year, did you have any idea how gnarly the fans were going to be for you? Because I was at Washougal, and it was one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen. It's just like people screaming, Haiden, just constantly. Like you're in the truck, and then they were screaming so much that you had to walk out the truck just to like quiet the noise a bit.
Yeah, the fans are. It's crazy how my dad and what he's done, and then the YouTube channel, and showing everyone from the day I literally started racing to now, like keeping everyone in tune, and it almost feels like they're part of the family almost, They've seen me on a 65, a 50, and now racing pro on a 250. So I think when they're at the races, they think they're part of the crew. So it's like you hear them out there, they're yelling, and it's hard. I try to get out there as much as I can, but it's like on race day, it's like we have one goal, and it's go out there and try and win. So it's like you got to get your recovery in, you got to get your food in, and it's like we can't just go hang out outside all the time. But yeah, it's wild. Where I'll be inside and I'll start hearing the chant, like people start chanting my name. I'm like, all right, man, I gotta go out real quick. I gotta go say what's up. But yeah.
Did you expect it though? Like I guess you would have had to have known, obviously, that there's going to be a lot of fans coming to the races. But did you think about it much before the races, or you were just so in the grind mode that it wasn't even something you really were thinking about?
I mean, I knew there would be a good amount of fans, like just because of all the people that have supported me on the way up and watched. And then I raced Futures, and that crowd was also like pretty gnarly at Anaheim. Like everyone just like wild. They're just like yelling in the crowd, and then then I saw like outdoor nationals. It was weird. Supercross was I feel like Supercross the fans were a little more like loud, and then outdoors there was like it was like it had a fair share of both, but the fans just it's made it a lot more fun having fans going crazy all the time, and keeps you excited to go out there and put on a show for them.
Yeah, and it's just like for me, when I've been around, like obviously LA and then Washougal, there's just like a vibe, and it's like there's an energy that you have the other riders don't have in the same way. Like obviously a lot of guys have fan bases, but it's just so different when like you guys for the last 10 years have been grinding on the YouTube thing. It's like it definitely hits different, and you can really feel the vibe. And like even like some of the other guys in the truck, they must just be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is so ridiculous. Like they would have, they probably had no idea that there was just about to be this wave of people that would just descend on the Star Rig every weekend.
Yeah, it's funny because I was inside, I was eating, and Bobby was talking. Bobby just sometimes won't even let me go out there. Bobby wants us to win. Bobby just stay focused, stay in here, which I get that. That's how he wants to run the program. So if I got to stand there, I got to stand there. But some of the guys would be signing, and they'd be like, dude, no one's moving. Like, you got to come out here so the line starts moving. Like, because everyone waits in the line and they want to get an autograph, and then like the line's not moving if I wasn't out there. So I was like, trying to go out there for a little bit, but I'm like, I can't.
Nah, it's a super cool problem to have, and just so unique in the sport, and like I don't even think that some of the other riders, like those dudes aren't doing laps of the pits to see what's going down. Like I don't think that many of the other riders that aren't around the Yamaha sort of side would even understand
they see
what's going on.
They see it.
You think?
Oh, they see the crowds, dude. Like we notice where the crowds are.
Yeah.
The sponsors notice, the team owners notice. That's the game, right? Who gets the attention? Isn't that the game?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, right?
I just think though, I think it's like all these guys have their little like cool, let's be quiet, and let's only race.
Yeah.
Where I think we've let people into our life, and that's why the fans are so supportive. Yeah. And then you have your other guys that are just, let's be quiet and do our one Instagram post every here and there.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, I don't think that's cool for the fans. If you're for the sport, I feel like you want to let them into your life and show them what you're about. And to be like, oh, I'm about the fans, and not let the fans see what you're doing all the time, it just doesn't make too much sense.
Yeah, and that, what he's saying there is, it's a lot easier to do that. It'd be a lot easier for us just to
go, dude, for sure.
One post, let's go do my thing.
It's a lot easier for him to not even race, to be honest.
So at the end of the day, but you race because you love it, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's, the fans are there to have their heroes. And that connection. I think this is the first time, unless maybe Pastrana was the only other time a fan or an athlete came into pro racing with a pre-built fan base.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, Pastrana had he was big time when he raced Supercross because of X Games at 14.
Yeah.
You know, but with social media, it's times 10 now.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all those kids. You know how many kids have come to the races and never been to a race before? And we're like, dude, this is my first race. Just watch your YouTube. I've watched you since you were on 65 or watched, you know, The Family or, you know, it's a different thing. And I don't know. It's weird because I don't think racing was ready for it, you know? And the team wasn't. Like, the team owner's like, dude, I've seen nothing like it, dude. But then we're like, well, how do we give Haiden his space to race?
Yeah.
And focus, because that's what I try to tell the fans. And because of our social, we've had a voice, which is very powerful, and that is one of the main reasons why we do it, so we can put out a good message.
Yeah.
With all the crap that's on the internet now. So I feel like that's how do you keep it going and giving the crowd what they want, yet giving him his space so he can still win races.
Yeah.
It's a balance, man.
Well, I think that's one of the cool things. Like, we could get into it like further down the track, but I mean, if people want to criticize the program, it's like, oh, Brian fucking can't get out of the camera, like he loves it. But I think that is the barrier, you know, like you kind of are that.
Someone's got to talk, and he's busy, dude. He's got to focus on racing, right?
Yeah.
And none of us talk, and you guys get nothing, right?
Yeah, and I think that's
Hudson,
the cool.
Sometimes Marisa, right?
Yeah.
It's all a system to help whoever the main focus is at the time, right? And that system, at one point, the focus was me at X Games, right? And all the kids were doing their thing, and then I was like leading the ship, and then Haley came up, and then Haiden comes up. It's just a rotating machine.
Yeah.
And it's so strong together.
Yeah.
Like, and if people start learning from it and seeing it, I think they'll
understand it. I think that's like kind of the secret sauce, you know, is like he does get to just do his thing, you know, like gets to race, and you've got to come out the truck and you got to do your bits and pieces here and there, and you got to talk to the camera a few times, but like for the most part, like he gets to do his thing. But I think it's interesting what you said about wanting to be like for the sport, and I think that we had some opportunities, like James was one, where he really had an opportunity to like transcend the sport, and he did to a point. Yeah, like he was on MTV Cribs. I don't know if you remember the episodes.
Yeah,
and
he had his own reality show.
He was like, and he was had the reality deal. But I think that, I mean, I don't know where that, I guess, like not went wrong, but it didn't end up doing what maybe it could have done for the sport, or maybe it did, but it wasn't, like the sport wasn't ready. But I think we definitely see guys come along and they could take the sport on their back and really elevate it, but for whatever reason, they end up going like, this is too hard, I'm just going to race, I'm just going to be the one Instagram post guy. And, you know, maybe some of that is that you just don't have, that's not a focus going in, and it's not, you haven't got a team around you that lets that happen, you know. But I think it's probably not since McGrath, really, that we had a guy, he was down, he was on every Today Show, he was on every radio, he was, you know, there's a way you can put the sport on your back and transcend. So I guess it's like, in your mind, Haiden, is that something like you think you can be that guy, or like you want to be that guy that can take it to that next level?
Yeah, definitely. I think just literally just what we've done so far with this, the YouTube channel and the fans we brought to the sport is already making it bigger. And it's only my first year, and I feel like it's just gonna go up from there. You know, I don't know. It's kind of, you gotta find the middle. The happy medium of what's too much and then what's not enough, and that's just over time you'll figure that out a little more. My dad's pretty smart with all that though, so he'll guide me good. But yeah, the YouTube channel right now, just that has brought a lot of fans to the sport.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.